I will now take the sediment for this meeting of the Planning Committee held on the 3rd of October 2023. The following members are present: Councillors Alec Allison, Ralph Barker, Arch Buchanan, Ross Clark, Jerry Convery, Margaret Cowie, Maureen Devlin, Colin Dewar, with apologies from Councillor Joe Fagan. Councillor Gladys Ferguson-Miller is present. We have apologies from Councillor Elise Frame. Councillor Julia Mars is attending as a substitute. Councillor Alistair Fulton is not present. Following councillors are present: Councillor Shalene Handybode, Mark Horsham, Ross Lambie. Councillor Martin Lennon is not present. We have apologies from Councillor Monique McAdams, and the following members are present: Councillors Leslie MacDonald, David McLachlan, Richard Nelson, Norman Ray, John Ross, Graham Scott, David Shearer, Helen Toner, and Councillor David Watson is not present. Thank you, and I will now hand you back to the Chair for today's business.
Thank you, Stuart. We'll go into the agenda items. Agenda item number 1, any declarations of interest? Councillor Lambie.
Thanks, Chair. Just to make a declaration on item number 5, because I helped the community put the planning application together, and I'm actually named as the agent on that one, so I'll leave the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other declarations of interest? Councillor Lambie, I don't have any items of urgent business, so agenda item number 5, when you leave, there's no need for you to return, unless you wish to, but we'll be ready to leave by then. Agenda item number 2 is the minutes of the previous meeting submitted for approval as a correct record from pages 3 to 10. Open up for any questions or comments. All agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed, thank you. Agenda item number 3 is application P212176, is pages 11 to 22 in your pack. It's the erection of 4 detached dwellings with associated car parking and landscaping at Lindsay Lands Road in Biggar. Fraser?
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, this application seeks consent for 4 detached dwellings in the curtilage of St Isidore's Church in Biggar that would take its access from Lindsay Lands Road. No objections were received from any of the statutory consultees, but 25 representations were received, with 20 objecting to the proposal and 5 in favour. A survey submitted on behalf of the Community Council also indicated 18 expressions of support, with 19 objecting to the scheme. A summary of all the representations are set out in the committee papers, with all of the letters and emails on the Council web pages, and these have been assessed in section 10 of the report. In this respect, it's noted that the proposals accord with the relevant national and local planning policies, as the proposed dwellings would be located close to the town centre with access to services. The dwellings have also been positioned to provide space for access, bin storage and garden ground, and the proposals have also been amended via the application process to retain more trees. This is the benefit of protecting the setting of the proposals, but also helps to mitigate on the overlooking and privacy issues that have been raised by residents in neighbouring properties. In conclusion, it's considered that this proposal represents an appropriate form and scale of development, and subject to the conditions that are set out in pages 18 to 20, it is recommended that planning permission should be granted.
Thank you, Fraser. I'll open up for any questions or comments. Councillor Ralph Barker.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for that report. Just 2 questions for clarity. The consent depends on a SUDS drainage system. I do take it you do not have to have evidence of suitable ground conditions for a SUDS system prior to that. Can be done post consent. My other question is on the detailed drawings. It indicates a grass verge almost as part of the visibility display, actually quite just outside the visibility display. I just don't appreciate applicant's agent saying it's a grass verge when it isn't. It's a stone wall, and I believe we should hold them to account and not make it look better than it is with, factual inaccuracies. Thanks. If you just have an answer on those, that'd be good. Thanks very much, Chair.
Regarding the issue around the SUD scheme, yeah, it is normal that would be, that it's a matter that be conditioned, and it'd be up to the developer to then prove is that a suitable scheme can be provided. Possibly looking to Fraser in terms of an issue around the verge.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the proposals are for a 2 metre wide footway, which will essentially take over where the verge is just now, and the stone wall would be relocated behind the 2 metre wide footway. So that would open up the visibility displays, and from a road's point of view, protects those displays.
No, thank you. Sorry, just to be pernickety about it. The indicated verge isn't indicated as being changed. Yes, the main stone wall of the application will be removed. It's just that the drawings actually show the next section of road as having a grass verge, and I really object to that when it isn't a grass verge. That is a wall which is not included. But I don't appreciate a comment which seems designed to make it look better. And I see some of the objectors have mentioned this. So on the drawings, it indicates a grass verge, and it isn't a grass verge. And I kind of just object to that sort of evidence being provided. Thank you.
I'll ask Fraser just to come in.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor. No, I accept the comments on that, and I think it's a reasonable comment to make. The issue is covered by condition number 11. So that's where we would ensure that the wall was reinstated, that the visibility displays are in place, that access isn't going to be compromising sort of safety. But no, we will address the issue through the issue 11, but or condition 11. But what you're saying is we note that.
Thank you. Councillor Allison.
Thanks, Chair. Just to follow on from that, I think from what you said, Fraser, that there will now be a path down the roadside there. Did I pick you up correctly? Will that path connect, or pavement, if you like? It'll be a pavement, I hope, rather than a path. And does it connect to the pavement which is further down, or will there be a gap? So that's just the first point.
Yeah, there'll be a crossing point over to there's a sort of island, and that's where people would cross over at that point. So pedestrian visibility at that section is fine. The footway doesn't connect all the way down on the same side of the road into the existing network.
You say there is an island?
To try and explain, if you come out of the development and turn right for a relatively short distance, there's a grass area, but there's a section of footway on that, so people can get across and connect on to the rest of the network from there.
Right. What I was going to be asking about, some trees are now not coming out. Has there been, I can never pronounce it, a tree doctor investigating this to identify what condition the trees are in, and as to whether and what the loss of biodiversity will be, actually quantify it. It does actually, another thought I've had regarding this is it looks very much like something that NPF 4 would be encouraging us to do, because it is an internal site to the village. But I think, again, it's showing where that falls down quite regularly, in that it's not that I wouldn't have it's taking away some of the green aspects of the town. Please.
No, I think the principle of development is acceptable. It's a residential development within the urban area and it's within the settlement boundary. Issues around the loss of biodiversity was a matter that was taken into consideration through the assessment of the planning application, and there's a condition in there about a woodland management plan and the ongoing maintenance. So they are aspects that will pick up through the implementation of that condition to ensure that any impact on biodiversity is minimised. There still is significant areas of sort of landscaping and trees that will be retained, and that was a change that was made through the decision, the application processing. So we'd look to ensure that any negative impact on biodiversity is kept to a minimum.
And the quality of the trees, Fraser? Sorry,
Yes,
through you,
they'll
Chair.
be assessed as part of that woodland management plan that's there is covered under condition number 13.
Surely that needs to be done first, because there is no point of a plan needing to take healthy trees out and maybe leaving some, I'm not saying they are, but they could not, they may have a shorter lifespan.
Thanks, Chair. Just to confirm that there's been various site visits and information submitted about the trees, and we have discussed matters with the Council's Arboricultural Officer as well. And as Fraser mentioned in the report, we've not just got the condition about trees, about biodiversity, but there's also trees, bats and woodland management, and it's to keep as many of the trees on site that's suitable to do. There is an access to be provided, and the houses themselves have largely been put in an area of clearing to minimise any impact on the trees. We'll also have root protection areas for whilst the development is ongoing, but these things were all considered to ensure as much biodiversity and protection is offered to what's on the site at present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? If there's no further questions or comments, I'll bring this agenda item to a close. I will then move recommendation to grant subject to the conditions.
I'll second it.
Everyone agreed? All agreed, thank you. Agenda item number 4 is application P230797. It's pages 23 to 30 in your pack. And it's a retrospective erection of an outbuilding in Cambuslang. And I'll ask Fraser to present.
Thanks, Chair. This application seeks consent. It's in retrospect for an outbuilding in the garden of a property that's situated in the new residential estate in Cambuslang. 6 objections and 8 expressions of support have been submitted, and the application has been assessed against the relevant policies and the comments that have been submitted. It is considered that the development is in keeping with the surrounding residential area, and the issues raised in relation to privacy, drainage and materials used would not lead to the application being recommended for refusal. So therefore, for the reasons set out in page 28 of the committee papers, it is recommended that application P230797 should be approved.
Thank you, Fraser. Open up for any questions or comments, please. There's no questions or comments. I will recommend that we grant subject to the attached condition.
I'll second it.
All agreed. Thank you. Move on to agenda item number 5. Agenda item number 5 is application P230858. It's pages 31 to 36 in your pack, and it's installation of 16 pedestrian lighting columns in the village green in Colburn. And I'll ask Fraser again.
This application is for the 16 pedestrian lighting columns in an area known as the Colburn Green. The application is presented to committee as in line with the provisions of the Council's approved scheme of delegation in relation to planning applications. But it is considered that the proposals are entirely acceptable in relation to policy, amenity considerations, and as such the recommendation is that this application should be approved.
Thank you, Fraser. I'll open up for any questions or comments, please. If there are no questions or comments, I will recommend that we grant subject to the attached condition.
I'll second it.
All agreed? Agreed, thank you. Agenda item number 6, I have no items of urgent business, and I will ask the clerk to stop the recording of the meeting and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.